Okay. In our last session, what we did, we have covered some basic stuff of Windows servers, how to create users like Active Directory, DHCP, and DNS. Right. So I covered all those in some detailed way. Now, in this, what is that? Okay. So in this video, not in video, in this session, we will start with the Citrix introduction. What is Citrix? How it works? What are the key components? What are the core components of Citrix? And what is the plan to set up the lab for practice purpose? So those kind of topics I will cover, and in between I will cover some interview tips and interview related questions as well. Why it is not finding? Just give me a minute. Okay, so coming to the Citrix, anyone have any idea what is Citrix? I think Srinu, you have some idea now. We are connected since long time. Can you answer this?
Yes.
Yeah, please tell me what is Citrix.
Citrix is a virtualization. We need to utilize the memory,
Memory. What?
hardware components
Mm-hmm.
for 100% virtualization.
Mm-hmm. So basically, Citrix is a company located in US Florida, and it is most popular for two products for virtualization, right? And the product names are Citrix Virtual Apps and Desktop. So earlier, those products were named as Gen App and Gen Desktop, but now they guys renamed their product to Virtual Apps and Virtual Desktop. So coming to the virtualization, like Shrinu, someone has please turn off your camera. I'm not sure who has running. Okay, I think now looks good. Okay, so with the help of virtualization, so now question comes, what is virtualization? So basically, with the help of virtualization, we can achieve 90% or 95% efficiency of any hardware. We have to utilize any hardware up to its maximum efficiency. So in ideal world, nothing is 100%, but we will try to achieve as much as possible. So ideally, it should be like we can easily utilize any hardware up to its 95% or 98%, not 100%. Why? Because for every machine, we are having some losses as well, right? So this is how it works. So coming to the virtualization, so basically virtualization is nothing like, as you guys know, uh, this is my hypervisor. This is my hypervisor, Gen server, right? So you can see in my hypervisor, I have created 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 machines here, right? And three machines are powered on right now. So what is happening here? This is my hypervisor. If I go to the memory part, so you can see on that hypervisor, I have allocated 32 GB of memory, right? And what I'm doing here on a single hardware, I'm creating multiple virtual machines. If required, I can increase the memory of my hypervisor in terabytes or in petabytes, and I can create thousands of machines on that single hardware. So basically, this is my single hardware. This is a personal computer on which I have installed the hypervisor as an operating system, and Basically, I'm operating that hypervisor with the application which is known as Citrix Gen Center. So basically, whenever you install any hypervisor on any physical device, that particular operating system, it is into the Linux flavor only, right? So you will get thousands of command lines to operate. So to handle that particular operating system in some easy manner, we are having one GUI tool. So Gen Center is nothing. It is just an application I have installed in my laptop, and from that laptop I have connected to. So let me remove Gen server from here. Okay. So now this is just a basic application. You will see if I open appbridge.cpl, this is a shortcut to get into the programs and features. So you can see I have installed Gen Center. It is a similar application like Google Chrome, Microsoft Edge, right? So I installed it, and when I launch this particular application, now it will ask me to add the server. So what I can do here, I can click add a server, and from here I have to put the IP address of my server. In my case, it is 10.101. That is the IP address of my hypervisor, and root is the default admin for in Linux operating systems, and I'm entering the root password. Click on add. It will sync with my hypervisor. It is done, right? And now I'm into my hypervisor. So as you can see, the memory, I have allocated 32 GB of memory to this single hardware. Into the storage part, I'm having somewhere around 500 GB of local hard drive. It is SSD actually. In the networking, you will get the network card of this machine, and this is the MAC address of this machine. And into the console, so this is a console, means whatever I'm getting here on my monitor where I have installed the Citrix hypervisor, I'm getting this window, right? So if I enter the password here, so you will get this kind of window, right? So now let me take the console. So command is xs console.
Mahesh,
Mm-hmm.
Mahesh, I think this is Linux commands, no? Through
Yes,
Linux commands you are connected.
yes. So when I enter xs console, now this is a display what I'm getting here on my monitor. Okay, this is a same display. So as you can see, with that display, I'm having only like few options. Like if I go to the virtual machines here, right? So click enter, and now I need to see how many virtual machines is there on this host. So enter. So you can see DDC, DDC01, IT01, PBS, whatever the machines are listed here, all those machines are actually hosted on this hypervisor, not on the Gen Center. Gen Center, it is just an application, and all those machines are hosted on my hypervisor, right? So you can install Gen Center on thousands of machines, right? And from those thousands of machines, you can connect your hypervisor. Okay. So now it will also show you like how many virtual machines are running on this host. Hit enter, you can see only three virtual machines powered on: DDC, IT01, and storefront. So you can cross verify from here: DDC, IT01, and storefront. Only three virtual machines are running, right? So this is, and also you can see my CPU usage right now. What it is showing: 0% of 2 CPU, and memory utilization is 1 GB for this machine. For IT01, it is utilizing 50% of CPU, and for DC01, it is utilizing the 1% of my CPU. So all those kind of stats you will get here. So this is what is virtualization, right? Now coming to the how Citrix works. Okay. Any question anyone on this slide? What is Citrix and how it works? Guys, any doubt? No one?
My cell is okay. Myself. Please ask to.
Mm-hmm. I think both the guys are on the mute, like Narayan and Vishnu. Guys, is it clear for you?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So now coming to the Citrix, like the working of Citrix and how it works, right? So uh, from that, let me do one thing. Let me maximize this. Okay, so this is how Citrix works. So the left hand side, this is your end user device. Like it could be your laptop, your desktop, right? On your laptop and desktop, what we have to do, we have to install one application which is known as Citrix Workspace, and we need one web browser. And the right hand part, it is your entire data center which will be hosted on, or like it will be into your office premises. It is your personal data center on which all those Citrix core components are hosted. And in between, we are having one firewall, which is known as Citrix Gateway or NetScaler. Okay. So from the end user device, what a user has to do, user has to open some URL in the web browser, and that URL hits our storefront. So storefront is nothing, it is just a web page. So we will provide some URL to our users, and users will open that particular like URL into the web browser, and then uh, they will get some pop-up like let me show you. Mhm. Okay, so what will happen here? So this is you can consider this machine as my end user device, right? So in my end user device, I am having Google Chrome, and I am having this my store URL, right? So what user has to do? User has to open that URL in their laptop, and now it will prompt users to enter some credentials, right? So once user enters the credentials, so let me enter credentials here. In my case, it's MS185426, and let me hit enter, right? So once I click on log on, right? I clicked on log on. So what will happen? Storefront forwarded that query to delivery controller, and delivery controller forwarded the query to Active Directory server, and Active Directory server validated my credentials. Why? Because Active Directory server is responsible to manage user accounts, right? So once I clicked on log on, the query forwarded to delivery controller, and from delivery controller to Active Directory server. So Active Directory server validates like my credentials are good, and it will show me the icon. So what happen if I enter the wrong credentials? So you can see right now my credentials are good, so it has been validated, right? So let me log off again. Now log in again. Now I'm entering some random credentials, right? Log on. So in now my Active Directory server, it will deny like your credentials are not good or whatever it is, like bad username and credentials. So it will show that error in some time. Oh, I'm not sure why it is loading. You can see incorrect username and computer. Sorry, username and password. So initially, it will Active Directory server will validate the credentials whether correct or not. If credentials are good, in that case, Active Directory server forward the request to delivery controller like credentials are okay. Then that query goes to the SQL server to check the database like which application is allocated to this particular user, right? So SQL server check the records like a database, and it will provide information to delivery controller like this application or desktop is published to that particular user, and then delivery controller forward the query to hypervisor, and hypervisor boots up the icons or the desktop for that particular user, right? So in my case, what will happen here? Now let me enter the correct credentials. So once I click on login, it will be validated by my Active Directory server, right? So it will validate. No, 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 no. I have entered the wrong username. Okay, give me a minute. Again, it will show incorrect. So it's 185.426. Now it has been validated, and in parallel, it's a nanosecond task. Like I just clicked on the OK, and query goes to the Active Directory. Directory validated the credentials. I then to delivery controller. Then delivery controller forwarded the query to SQL server to check the database, like which application is published to the user, and again it will forward it to the hypervisor to show the icons, and then to the storefront server. Like it's a nanosecond task. Like I just clicked on the logon, and now I'm getting this screen, right? So if I go to the applications, you can see for me one application is published, which is known as like whatever the application it is, Kingsoft spreadsheet. Okay. So now here is the presentation. Okay. So now I'm getting the applications on my laptop, whatever the application is published to me, right? So once I double click on the application, what will happen? It is a tile that is showing here. When after I double click, it detects the Citrix workspace. Once I open it, it downloaded the ICA file in backend, and now it is launching the application for me. So now this application is launched on end user device, right? So what is happening here? From my personal device, I am taking remote access to the uh, the services or application which is hosted in my organization, right? So you can see this is my data center on Gen Server 01, and I am using this my server as a client PC. Okay, so now user can perform the activities whatever they need to perform, right? They can work like this is just a demo application, right? In production you will get thousands of application like Microsoft Teams, Outlook, and many more. Okay, so this is just a demo application how it is published, right? So in upcoming sessions what we will do, I will destroy my entire lab and we will create the new lab. Okay, so let me close this. Okay. Now one more thing, very very important, like that is a part of our data center. This is end user PC. In between, we are having firewall. And now the above tools like Studio Director and License Server. So basically, Studio it is a GUI tool to manage the entire data center. Director is for the troubleshooting, and License Server to allocate the license to the virtual machine. Okay, so now Studio is a GUI console. So let me show you the Stick Studio how it looks like. So I have configured my delivery controller here. In my delivery controller, I have installed the studio. So let me log in there. Here is a Citrix. This is the studio. So let me maximize this. So basically, Studio it is a GUI tool. With the help of Studio, you can manage the machine catalog. You can manage the users. You can manage the entire Citrix infra. Also, we are having Citrix Director as well. So I can open Director here in this machine. Okay, it is not getting copied, right? So, okay, I can show you here only. So this is your director console, and MS185426. I'm just logging into the director. Basically, this director, it is used for the troubleshooting perspective. Let me log in. So now, Shrinu, I think you are already working on the director, right?
Yes, yes, sir. To find out of system
Mm-hmm.
server health checkups and everything,
Yes. So right now, we are into the
memory
director.
utilizations,
Yes.
how many users are how many machines are working,
Mm-hmm.
how many machines are in off. Everything you need to manage the director only.
All right.
It is a centralized component. It is a centralized component of Citrix to manage
Mm-hmm.
the health checkup of the Citrix.
All right. Right. So basically, we are using, as you can see, like
How many machines
the
are
delivery
in the
controller.
connection files?
Sorry.
How many machines are connected right now? How many machines are in
Yes.
off?
Yes. 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 Each and everything you can find here, right? And I will arrange means
Same like as a
individual.
monitoring database. Monitoring
Yes. Yes.
database.
Yes.
To fetch the data from monitoring database only to display in direct only.
Right. Right. So this is our director. It is used for troubleshooting a perspective, right? So as you can see, 17 seconds is my average logon duration. Why? Because we are having very less machines, but in production you will get average logon duration for user for somewhere around more than 100 seconds. It will take time, right? Into the host, I am having one gen server, one delivery controller. All those things you will get here. And what it is someone like I only logged in with MS185 that user account. So now it is showing one logon, right? In a similar way, uh, you can search any user here. You can search machines here, right? Multiple activity, or even also you can shadow the sessions to end users, right? So if I go here on all sessions, so you can see one session is running, and this is the associated user. Session state is active, and at this time I started the session, and that is the machine host name, right? So those kind of things you can. Let me click on this user session, so you can see uh, my this user ms185, it is like user opened one application which is spreadsheet. Okay, so into the process you can see all the processes of this computer for this user. In the shadow, if you want to shadow the session, you can shadow it. Click on shadow. But for shadowing the session, one component is required which is like a Microsoft Assistant tool. So that tool is not installed on my machine. So right now let me try to open. It will show me like there is no application, right? So we have to install one application to use that feature. Okay, so that we can do later on. Okay, so now, okay, coming to the studio. So this is the studio. In the studio you can get machine catalogs, you can get the delivery groups. So basically machine catalog, it is a collection of physical or virtual machines. Okay, delivery groups, with the help of delivery groups we can publish all those machine catalogs which is here. We can publish all those machine catalogs to the end users with the help of delivery groups. Now coming to the application, so here you will see the number of applications. Whatever the application you want to publish to your end user, you will see the list of the applications here, and you can manage the applications with the help of application groups, or you can individually publish any application to user, right? So in a same way you can see for me that Kingsoft application is published, right? And if I go here on session, you can see this user is using this application right now, right? But for me, Right now there is no calculator published, right? So what I can do, I can right click on calculator, go to the properties, go to the limit visibility, and from here I can add my user here. So I added my user.
Okay, Manish, if this is particular user only, no, it will be visible.
Yeah, it will go. So in that way, we can manage, right? So now if I go here and refresh that window, so I can see now calculator is there for me, right? Okay. So I do not want to launch calculator right now. Now comes to the point. So now, okay guys, we are having only 2 minutes remaining. So I'm just terminating the call, and in 5 minutes we will start with this slide. Okay, guys, you there?
Okay, okay.
Okay, okay.